Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new idioms or phrases you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, go for it. This phrase is all about encouragement and giving someone permission to try something. When someone says go for it, they're basically saying, yes, you should do that, or try it, don't be afraid. It's like when your friend is standing at the edge of a swimming pool, scared to jump in, and you shout, go for it, to give them courage. I remember when my friend Sarah was thinking about asking her boss for a promotion. She kept saying, I don't know if I should ask, and what if he says no? Finally, I told her, Sarah, you've been working so hard for 2 years. Go for it, and guess what? She got the promotion. Sometimes we all need that little push from our friends. For example, if your friend is nervous about trying a new restaurant, you might say, the food looks amazing, go for it. You might hear something like, I'm thinking about taking guitar lessons, and the response could be, that sounds fun, go for it. Here's another one. When someone is hesitating about buying something they really want, you could say, if it makes you happy, go for it. This phrase is perfect when you want to encourage someone to take a chance or try something new. Have you ever heard this phrase before? Let me know in the comments if someone has ever told you go for it about something important in your life. Number 2, it could be worse. This expression is what we say when we want to help someone feel better about a bad situation. It means that even though things are not good right now, they could actually be much worse than they are. It's a way to help someone see the positive side, or at least realize that their problem isn't the worst thing that could happen. I use this expression a lot with my little sister. Last month, she was so upset because it started raining during her picnic with friends. She called me crying and said, my whole day is ruined. I told her, hey, it could be worse. At least you're with your friends and you can have fun inside somewhere. Plus, the rain will stop soon. Sometimes this phrase helps people calm down and think more clearly. For example, if someone is complaining about getting a small scratch on their new car, you might say, well, it could be worse. At least no one got hurt, and it's just a tiny scratch. You might hear something like this, I'm so mad that the store was out of my favorite ice cream, and someone could respond, it could be worse. At least they had your second favorite flavor. Let's take this one. If someone is upset about being 5 minutes late to work, a friend might say, don't worry, it could be worse. You could have been an hour late. This expression is really helpful when you want to comfort someone or help them see that their situation isn't terrible. Do you think you could use this in your daily life? What's a situation where someone might say this to you? Number 3, what a surprise. This phrase is something we say when something unexpected happens. But here's the interesting thing. Sometimes we say it when we're genuinely surprised, and sometimes we say it sarcastically when something happens that we actually expected. The tone of your voice makes all the difference. Let me tell you about both ways to use this. Last week, my mom showed up at my apartment with homemade cookies. I hadn't seen her in a month, so I was genuinely shocked and happy. I said, "Mom, what a surprise," because I really wasn't expecting her. But then there's the sarcastic way. My brother is always late to family dinners, always. When he showed up 30 minutes late last Sunday, I said, "Oh, what a surprise," in a sarcastic tone because honestly, we all expected him to be late. For example, if your friend who never calls suddenly phones you, you might say, "Hey, what a surprise. I wasn't expecting to hear from you today." You might hear something like, "What a surprise," when someone opens a gift they weren't expecting. Here's another one. If it starts snowing in the middle of summer, you would definitely say, "What a surprise," because that would be very unexpected. The key is in your voice. If you sound happy and excited, people know you're genuinely surprised. If you sound flat or a little sarcastic, they'll understand you expected it to happen. Have you ever been in a situation where you could use this expression? Let me know in the comments. Number 4, I'm on my way. This expression is super common and very practical. It simply means, "I am coming to you right now," or "I am traveling to where you are." We use this phrase all the time when we're letting someone know that we've left our current location and we're heading to meet them. This is probably one of the most texted phrases in English. I send this to my friends almost every day. Just yesterday, my friend was waiting for me at the coffee shop, and she texted, "Where are you?" I immediately texted back, "I'm on my way," so she would know I hadn't forgotten and that I was coming. It's a polite way to let people know they don't need to worry about you. For example, if your friend calls and asks if you're still coming to dinner, you can say, "Yes, don't worry, I'm on my way." You might hear something like, "I'm on my way, I'll be there in 10 minutes," when someone is running a little late. People often say, "I'm on my way," right after they leave their house or office to meet someone. This phrase is incredibly useful because it keeps your friends and family from worrying about you. It's much better than leaving people wondering where you are. Do you use texting a lot? This is definitely a phrase you'll want to remember for your messages. Number 5, which one is better? This question is what we ask when we need to make a choice between two or more things. It's one of the most common ways to ask for someone's opinion when you can't decide. We use this when we're shopping, choosing what to eat, picking a movie, or making any kind of decision. I ask this question probably 5 times a day. Just this morning, I was getting dressed and I held up 2 shirts and asked my roommate, "Which one is better for my job interview today?" She helped me choose the blue one, and I felt much more confident. We ask this question because sometimes other people can see things more clearly than we can when we're trying to decide. For example, when you're at a restaurant looking at the menu, you might ask your friend, "Which one is better, the pasta or the pizza?" You might hear something like, "I can't decide between these 2 phones, which one is better?" Here's another one. When you're shopping for shoes, you could ask the salesperson, "Which one is better for walking long distances?" This question is perfect when you trust someone's opinion and you want their help making a choice. The great thing about this question is that it shows you value what the other person thinks. Have you ever asked someone this question? What was the last thing you had trouble choosing between? Number 6, don't get into any trouble. This expression is something we say when we care about someone and we want them to be safe and make good choices. It's like a gentle warning that means, be careful and don't do anything that could cause problems for you. Parents say this to their kids a lot, but friends also say it to each other. My mom says this to me every single time I leave the house, even though I'm an adult. When I was going out with friends last weekend, she said, "Have fun, but don't get into any trouble." It's her way of saying she loves me and wants me to be safe. It doesn't mean she thinks I'm going to do something bad. It's just her way of showing she cares. For example, when your friend is going to a party, you might say, "Have a great time, but don't get into any trouble." You might hear something like this from a parent to their teenager. You can go out with your friends, just don't get into any trouble. People often say, "Don't get into any trouble," when someone is going somewhere new or doing something for the first time. This phrase shows that you care about someone's safety and well-being. It's a loving way to remind someone to be careful without being too worried or controlling. Do you have someone in your life who says this to you? Maybe your parents or a close friend? Number 7, can I get a ride? This question is a polite way to ask someone if they can drive you somewhere. A ride means transportation in someone's car. This is a very common request, especially among friends, family members, or coworkers. It's much more polite than saying, "Drive me somewhere." I ask this question at least once a week. My car was in the repair shop last month, so I had to ask my friends and family for rides everywhere. I would call my sister and say, "Hey, can I get a ride to work tomorrow morning?" She was always happy to help because she knew I would do the same for her. That's what friends and family do for each other. For example, if you don't have a car and need to go to the grocery store, you might ask your roommate, "Can I get a ride to the store with you?" You might hear something like, "My car broke down. Can I get a ride to work?" When someone has transportation problems. Here's another one. "Can I get a ride to the airport? My flight is really early," when someone needs help getting to travel. This is such a practical question because we all need help with transportation sometimes. The key is to ask politely and to offer to help with gas money or to return the favor later. Have you ever had to ask someone for a ride? Let me know in the comments what happened. Number 8. Can you keep it down? This question is a polite way to ask someone to be quieter or make less noise. Keep it down means to lower the volume or reduce the noise level. We use this when someone is being too loud and it's bothering us or other people around us. I had to use this phrase just last week. My upstairs neighbors were having a party on a Tuesday night, and the music was so loud that I couldn't sleep. I finally went upstairs and knocked on their door. When they answered, I said, "Hi guys, I don't want to ruin your fun, but can you keep it down? I have work early tomorrow morning." They were really nice about it and turned the music down right away. For example, if your roommate is talking loudly on the phone while you're trying to study, you might say, "Hey, can you keep it down? I'm trying to concentrate." You might hear something like, "Can you keep it down?" The baby is sleeping from a parent when kids are being too noisy. People often say, "Can you guys keep it down?" when a group is being loud in a library or a quiet place. This question is much more polite than saying, "Be quiet" or "Shut up." It shows that you understand they're not trying to bother you, but you need them to be more considerate. Do you think this question could be useful in your daily life? Maybe with roommates or neighbors. Number 9, don't bother. This phrase means don't worry about it, or it's not worth the effort. We use this when we want to tell someone that they don't need to do something, usually because it's too much trouble or it won't help anyway. It can save someone time and energy. I use this phrase a lot to be considerate of other people's time. Last week, my friend offered to drive across town to bring me a book I wanted to borrow. But I realized it was rush hour and the traffic would be terrible. I told her, You know what? Don't bother. I can just buy the book online or wait until I see you this weekend. I didn't want her to waste 2 hours in traffic just for one book. For example, if someone offers to cook dinner but they seem really tired, you might say, "Don't bother, let's just order pizza tonight." You might hear something like, "I was going to iron this shirt, but it looks fine." Don't bother when someone realizes something isn't necessary. Here's another one. Don't bother calling them, they never answer their phone anyway, when you know something won't work. This phrase is really helpful because it can save people from doing unnecessary work. It shows that you're thinking about what's practical and what's worth someone's time. Have you ever been in a situation where someone should have said, "Don't bother" to you? Number 10, I was just told. This sentence means, someone just gave me this information, or I just learned this news. We use this when we want to share information that we received very recently, usually within the last few minutes or hours. It explains how we know something that just happened. This phrase is perfect for sharing breaking news or recent updates. Yesterday at work, my coworker came running into the office and said, "I was just told that we're getting Friday off for a company holiday." Everyone got so excited because we had no idea this was happening. The phrase helped us understand that this was brand new information, not something she had known for a while. For example, if someone asks you about a meeting change, you might say, "I was just told that the meeting moved to 3 o'clock instead of 2. You might hear something like, "I was just told that the restaurant we wanted to go to is closed today," when plans need to change suddenly. People often say, "I was just told the good news about your promotion," when they want to congratulate someone on something they recently learned. This sentence is great because it helps explain the timing of information. It lets people know that you're sharing something current and recent, not old news. Do you like getting breaking news or recent updates? This phrase will definitely come in handy. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 super useful expressions that native English speakers use every single day. We learned "go for it" for encouraging someone. It could be worse for helping people feel better about bad situations, and "what a surprise" for when something unexpected happens. We also covered practical phrases like, "I'm on my way" for letting people know you're coming, "which one is better" for asking opinions, and "don't get into any trouble" for showing you care about someone's safety. We learned how to politely ask for transportation with "Can I get a ride?" How to ask someone to be quieter with "Can you keep it down?" and how to save someone effort with "Don't bother." Finally, we learned "I was just told" for sharing recent information. These expressions will make your English sound much more natural and help you connect better with native speakers. Practice using them in your daily conversations, and don't be afraid to try them out. If this video helped you learn something new, please hit that like button and subscribe for more English lessons. I'll be back tomorrow with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that will take your English to the next level. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Let me know in the comments which one you're most excited to try using. Take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every day you practice is a day you get better. I'm proud of you for taking the time to improve your skills, and I'll see you in the next video.